On the latest episode of Real Time with Bill Maher, he gave his take on the difference between Republicans and Democrats. Take a look.
Politics in this country is binary. You have to wear everything anyone on your side does. Republicans are the party of don't wear masks, kids in cages, lock her up, and Democrats are the party of every hypersensitive social justice warrior woke story in the news.
She's probably been put in there because according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
Get ready for a fiery political showdown as Bill Maher dissects the stark contrast between Republicans and Democrats in today's polarized arena. In this climate, sticking with your side means embracing every stance and catchphrase without question. On one hand, Republicans are known for their no masks and lock her up rhetoric. On the other, Democrats are often seen as the champions of every overblown, emotionally charged social justice headline dominating the news. At times, it feels like some individuals gain the spotlight simply because, in Donald Trump's words, they're a flawless 10. And honestly, I wouldn't mind a few of Whoopi's clever jabs aimed at me. She's no stranger to dropping absurd takes, but sometimes the timing is just spot on. Now picture this. Just last week, Joy Behar found herself on the receiving end of Bill Maher's relentless roast, setting the internet abuzz. Maher's scathing takedown of Behar has been met with cheers from those who believe it was high time someone gave her a reality check. So, what exactly did Behar say to set Maher off? And how did he dismantle her argument so thoroughly that woke Twitter is now in an uproar? We've got every detail, every sizzling retort, and a blow-by-blow breakdown that's sure to make your snack time even more entertaining. Buckle up. This is one episode you won't want to miss.
She's probably been put in there because according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though, it's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous... Okay.
You've probably seen the clip by now, so we'll spare you the full rundown. In short, Behar took a jab at Caroline Leavitt's intellect. Because, let's be honest, that's just how the outspoken crew on The View operates. According to Behar, Leavitt landed the role of Trump's new press secretary solely because she's a size 10, as if dress measurements are the ultimate indicator of qualifications in Joy's world. The irony isn't lost here. Behar herself has been known to dish out questionable opinions and absurd takes for years, all without anyone demanding to see her credentials. Even when co-host Alyssa Griffin pointedly reminded her of Leavitt's actual qualifications and experience, Behar chose to tune it out. Naturally, this set Bill Maher off, prompting one of his signature retorts.
Yeah, but isn't it interesting that it's called, I don't think they meant this when Barbara Walters invented it a long time ago, but it's The View.
Well,
that's the problem in America. There is one view,
right, and
one
that's clearly
true opinion, and everybody else can go sit in the corner.
You have to appreciate Bill Maher for his blunt honesty. He always calls it like he sees it. According to him, the problem with The View is right there in its title. It's not a platform for diverse opinions, but rather a singular perspective that insists its own voice is the only one that matters. Any opposing viewpoint is dismissed as irrelevant or outright absurd. And, as expected, Joy Behar is at the forefront of shutting down any dissent that strays from the sanctioned narrative, even within their own self-reinforcing bubble. Behar simply can't tolerate Alyssa Farah Griffin offering a different take on Caroline Leavitt's appointment as press secretary, because in Joy's world, any disagreement isn't just wrong, it's practically sacrilege.
Politics in this country is binary. You have to wear everything anyone on your side does. Republicans are the party of don't wear masks, kids in cages, lock her up, and Democrats are the party of every hypersensitive social justice warrior woke story in the news. They're the party that disappears people or tries to make them apologize for ridiculous things.
Politics in this country has become entirely binary. You're expected to embrace everything anyone on your side says or does. Republicans are labeled as the party of don't wear masks, kids in cages, and lock her up, while Democrats are seen as the party of every hypersensitive, social justice warrior-driven, woke controversy in the news. They're the party that cancels people or pressures them into apologizing for the most ridiculous things.
Is she really a 10? We'll be right back.
Joy Behar calls her a 10. I mean, how dare she objectify a woman with a rating system, but it's such a typical thing from a 1.5.
Bill Maher isn't just taking jabs at Joy Behar. He's launching a full-blown takedown of the entire Democratic Party. And frankly, he's hitting the mark. If the Democrats had been the ones to appoint Caroline Leavitt, you'd see Behar front and center, extolling Leavitt's brilliance, poise, and unmatched eloquence, probably delivering an over-the-top tribute about how she represents America's future. But since Leavitt got the role under Trump, all that high praise vanishes, replaced by a fixation on her dress size. Because clearly, that's the level of discourse we've come to expect from The View. And let's be honest, if anyone else reduced a woman's accomplishments to her appearance, Behar would be in an uproar, decrying the sexism and demanding a full apology tour. Yet, when it comes to her own side doing the same, she falls silent. Joy Behar's glaring double standard hasn't gone unnoticed. Bill Maher wasn't the only one to call it out. Greg Gutfeld has also weighed in on her performative antics.
Ever-empowering feminist Joy herself, everyone. And this is why, of course, she's on The View and not working for the most powerful man in the world, because Caroline would wipe the floor with you bitter banshees any day.
Check out this searing critique from Greg Gutfeld. He's hit the nail on the head. Joy Behar has reduced Caroline Leavitt's success to nothing more than her looks, as if implying that no woman can truly advance on merit unless she's a Democrat. And let's be honest, if anyone had made the same comment about a woman on the left, Behar would have erupted, crying sexism and demanding cancellation. Now here's where it gets truly intriguing. The same Democratic advocates who seem to prioritize optics over genuine competence suddenly turn a blind eye when their own side reduces a woman to her appearance. Meanwhile, Leavitt is at the White House, deftly handling press briefings and proving she knows her stuff. But instead of acknowledging her expertise, Behar opts for petty jabs. Perhaps it's just jealousy at work, as Gutfeld suggests. He even quips that Behar is 1.5 light years away from a perfect score, which might just explain why she went after Leavitt in the first place.
What really ticks me off about him, though, is this laughing Kamala remark.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a remark, because a guy I was with over the weekend, a friend of mine, they said Kamala's laugh annoys me. Remember they said that about Hillary's laugh, and she was cackling. And men, they don't like a funny woman. They're afraid if you laugh or you make a joke, that maybe you'll do that when they're in bed with you. It's like this fear.
This reporter has just confirmed our suspicion. Joy Behar is likely simmering with envy. While Caroline Leavitt is out there working for the world's most influential president, Behar is still shouting over chuckling co-hosts on a daytime talk show. In Behar's view, Leavitt is nothing more than a greenhorn who hasn't earned her spot at the top, because apparently experience only counts when it aligns with her political agenda. Yet what Behar conveniently overlooks is that it's not about age, it's about intelligence, capability, and, dare we say, competence. Leavitt clearly possesses all three, and that's what really fuels Behar's ire. If Leavitt were a 25-year-old liberal, Behar would be celebrating her as a trailblazing icon for young women. Instead, because Leavitt dares to think for herself, she's reduced to nothing more than her looks. Perhaps Behar is just upset that her own resume wouldn't even land her a phone-answering gig at the White House, let alone a role leading a press briefing. And if you think we're exaggerating, just listen to Joy Behar herself. She's been calling people sexist simply for not enjoying Kamala Harris's raucous laughter. Yes, you heard that right. Disliking the vice president's ear-splitting cackle has somehow become a prime example of misogyny.
What? So, if you don't like Kamala Harris's weird cackling, it's because you hear her in the boudoir?
Huh?
That's a theory there, Joy. I feel like, given her personal history, and Willie Brown and all, that's probably not what people are thinking about Kamala Harris when they're thinking about that type of activity, but sure, go with that.
Well, don't be surprised by The View's takes. Outlandish opinions have practically become their signature move. Sometimes you really have to wonder if they're just pulling these wild assertions straight out of thin air. I mean, how does Behar even come to the conclusion that disliking a woman's laugh automatically means you're afraid of women? Does that pass as any kind of logical argument, or did she just string words together and hope no one would challenge her? It's no wonder Ben Shapiro saw right through the absurdity of her statements and called her out on it.
This idea that Trump won with some kind of mandate is not true. I mean, we have information there. He beat Kamala Harris by 1.6%. Joe Biden beat Trump by 4.5%, and nobody said it was a mandate. So get that out of your lips, out of your mouth. These people who are saying it's a mandate. It's not a mandate.
Joy Behar, once again, is very confused. The reason that Trump is said to have a mandate is not because he won the election by 1.6%. He didn't win the election by 1.6%. He won the election in a landslide. He got 312 electoral votes.
Ben Shapiro laid it out plainly. Disliking Kamala Harris's laugh isn't rooted in some hidden or irrational fear of women. It's simply that her laugh is, quite frankly, grating. Not every criticism is part of a grand conspiracy against women. Sometimes a laugh is just off-key and annoying. Shocking, perhaps, but the so-called woke mob refuses to accept such a straightforward observation. Instead, they twist even the mildest critique into accusations of racism or whatever. Ism fits their script. If you don't enthusiastically cheer every move of their chosen icons, you're instantly branded a terrible person. Dislike an irritating laugh? You're a misogynist. Question a policy? You're a bigot. Even preferring your coffee black might somehow get you tagged as a white supremacist. It's all part of the same absurd strategy, slapping a politically correct label on every dissenting remark, no matter how trivial, to silence debate and push their agenda. After all, if they ever had to actually defend their ideas in a real discussion, that's when everything would start to unravel.